Hey YouTube, welcome back to my channel. This is Nathan Daley. I am your law enforcement translator, 13-year veteran here to give you guys in-depth insight on all things law enforcement. Now, if you're new to the channel, welcome. Thank you for being a part of this journey. Please hit the subscribe, hit the notification bell, and please share this video. And if you see value in this content, I would ask that you please hit the like button. Would love for you to hit the like button. So anyways, what's going on? We are going to talk about the Ahmaud Arbery trial. Now, before I get into that, let me make a quick. If you haven't already, take a look at the video that I did, really talking about the 11 white jurors, the 1 black juror, and how I feel about that. The blatant discrimination in that selection process is mind-boggling. But I'll have a follow-up video to that as well, really breaking down more in detail what is going on behind the scenes. This is just a game that the attorneys play, and they are good at it, you guys. All right, so listen, let's talk about the Ahmaud Arbery trial. I want to talk about the trial itself because it just started. So what happened? The prosecutor does the opening statements and lays it all on the line, you guys. I thought it was a very good presentation of the opening statement. The prosecutor focused on all the evidence that was graciously presented to her and given to her by the McMicheals themselves, right? They handed everything over to the prosecution just willingly. Why? Because they didn't think they did anything wrong, right? So, and this really speaks on the mindset, right? The mindset, the difference between a person who is a criminal and a person who thinks they didn't commit a crime, right? Because a criminal is going to be hiding stuff, destroying evidence, right? They're going to be lying. They're not going to be cooperative. No, the McMicheals and Brian did the exact opposite. They were extremely cooperative. They were extremely transparent, right? And look when they actually got an attorney. What stage in this investigation they got an attorney. Why? Because they had the mindset of they were innocent, that they didn't do anything wrong. This is the big key to this entire trial, you guys. The biggest key is that we're dealing with people who truly believe that their actions were justified. And because of that, they willingly just was like, hey, yeah, of course. Oh, fingerprints? Yeah, here, take that. Oh, my car? Yeah. Not a problem. My guns? Yeah, of course. Yeah, this was self-defense. So what did the prosecutor do, right? In the opening statement, she begins talking about the 911 call, right? At 1:08 p.m., we had a witness who called and talked about a suspicious black male, right? At 1:15, the second 911 call goes out, and this is Gregory McMicheal's calling 911, and then just a few seconds later, Ahmaud Arbery is shot, right? She references that. What else does she reference? During that first 911 call, the officer was dispatched. Here we go, approximately 7 minutes later, Ahmaud Arbery is shot, right? The officer was already in the neighborhood. The officer heard the gunshots. The officer arrived on scene as Ahmaud Arbery was still taking his last breaths. This is how close everything has been leading up to this trial, right? The prosecutor makes reference to the shotgun, right? Travis McMicheal's shotgun, and how it was pointed towards Ahmaud Arbery. How do they confirm that? She's looking at the shadow. They broke down the shadow. They could see the actual shadow of the shotgun, right? And say, hey, this is the position of the shotgun. And it shows based on the shadow that it was actually raised. I'm like, God, they're not playing, you guys. They're not playing, okay? So what else does she mention? She breaks down the shooting, right? With some very key statements that Travis McMicheal stated, right? Travis McMicheal told the police during the investigation, right, that Ahmaud Arbery squared off with him. So he shot him, right? He never told the police that Ahmaud Arbery tried to take the shotgun from him, right? This is the statements coming from Travis McMicheal himself. He said, hey, I cut him off, came around the truck, cut him off, right? I had the shotgun pointed at him. He squared up with me. So I shot him, right? So I shot him. These are statements from Travis, you guys. No one is making this up, okay? So she points this out. The prosecutor then says, okay, well, where was he shot? He was shot in his torso, okay? With birdshot. For those who are unfamiliar, birdshot is the type of shotgun round where there's a bunch of little BBs in there. And so when you actually fire a shot with the birdshot, a lot of the beads and pellets, I guess, spray out, right? They spread out like that. He was also shot up under his armpit, severed his artery. It was that artery that started to spray out, right? Which is what covered Travis in blood during the altercation, okay? So what else did she touch on? She touched on a statement that Greg McMicheal made, right? Greg McMicheal told the police on the initial encounter that he was saying, hey, stop, we want to talk to you. Well, they have evidence of Greg McMicheal saying, stop, or I'll blow your effing head off. It's a big, that's a big difference. Okay, that's a big difference. When Travis made it to the police station and they actually investigated him, they asked him a question about, did Ahmaud Arbery try to take your shotgun? Travis stated, I don't know. I don't think he did. I don't remember if he even tried to take the shotgun. Listen, you can't make this up. This is his statement. This is what he told. This is what he put on record. Okay? Then why was Ahmaud Arbery shot? Right? I know why. Travis said because he squared up with me. I shot him because he squared up with me. See, what Travis isn't saying, Travis was afraid. And he had the gun. Right? Can you imagine? You have the gun and you're afraid of the person without the gun. I'm trying to tell you. And we're going to talk about that. Right? We're going to talk about that in this video about perception and how dangerous perception is. Right? The perception of someone's skin color. I don't know, you guys. This might be a little too deep for some of y'all. All right? The perception, right? He perceived Ahmaud Arbery to be a threat before he even reached and tried to take the gun. He squared up with me. Fear kicked in. Boom. Right? That's powerful. I didn't say that. That's a statement he gave. Okay?
But here's what Greg McMicheal did say. And this is really important because once again, Greg McMicheal's talking about February 23rd, 2020. Is he picking up anything, going through anything? You know, not that I recall. I don't think the guy has actually stolen anything out of there. Or if he did, it was early on in the process. No immediate knowledge of any crime in the past or on that day. I don't think the guy has actually stolen anything out of there. Or if he did, it was early on in the process. Meaning I don't have any information about it. I don't know anything about that.
Now she talks about Greg McMicheal and his interview with the police, right, at the station. They say, okay, well, Greg, did Ahmaud take anything? He says, I don't know. I don't even know if he took anything. No immediate knowledge, you guys. They asked him, where did he break into? Do you know if a house was broken into? Do you know, what do you know? He said, I don't know. I don't know. But you know what he tells them? If you just go and knock on some doors, you might find something. Hey, you can't make this up, you guys, right? These are his statements to the police. Bold statements. Statements made from someone who can't even register in their mind that they're actually wrong.
Really important. Did this guy break into a house today? Did he commit a burglary today? What did he do today that you have immediate knowledge of? That's just it. I don't know, says Greg McMicheal. And look at what he does. He says, well, you know, that's what I told, what's her name out there? I said, listen, you might want to go knock on some doors because, you know, I'm sure he did something. And if you police officers would just go and investigate that, I'm sure you could figure out what crime it was that he committed today. I'm sure you could. Just go out. I mean, you should investigate. Now that we've killed him, figure out what crime it was that he was committing. I said, listen, you might want to go knock on doors down there because this guy just done something because he was fleeing from. I don't know. He might have gone in somebody's house. He might have gone in somebody's house? No immediate knowledge of anything or any crime that Mr. Arbery committed that day.
They don't understand. They can't even conceptualize that their profiling of a person has really dictated how they conducted themselves in this entire situation, right? Right? The perception that Ahmaud Arbery had to have been doing something wrong simply because he was running in a neighborhood. He had to have been up to something. That's what this all starts to break down to, right? What else did they ask, right? Gregory McMicheal couldn't confirm if Ahmaud did anything that day, if he broke into a house, if he stole anything, right? He couldn't confirm. He said, I don't know, go knock on some doors, you guys, that's your job, right? So they said, well, why were you trying to stop him? They asked him this, right? Then what were you doing? Well, I was gonna stop him because we wanted to identify him. We wanted to stop him for y'all so we can figure out who he is. Who are you? Who are you guys, right? Like, who are you to determine that you need to stop someone because you feel like they shouldn't be running in your community, right? Who are you? Man, I'm telling you guys, these are his statements. You can't make this up. Hey, we're stopping him because we wanted to see who he was. So you guys got out the truck with guns. You chased him down and tried to block him off. This is the facts. This is the facts. What else? I spoke about this in the previous video where Greg McMicheal was talking about his justification to the police, why he felt the need to bring his weapon, right? He said, one night, I saw him reaching in his pants, so I suspected he had a weapon. What? That was a justification, right? Ahmaud Arbery wasn't armed at all. There was no justification to draw a weapon on Ahmaud Arbery, right? But what else did the prosecutor talk about in this opening statement? You guys know it. She talked about the sloppy investigation, right? She talked about how ridiculous the investigation went. What happened? She lays it all out. And this is something I just found out today, right? Now, we knew just from the previous videos I did that the investigation was horrible. I gave you guys my perspective from a law enforcement officer and how that is not how you conduct a murder investigation. But what did she point out specifically in reference to evidence? She said after the officers got done with their investigation, they allowed Greg McMicheal to go home, right? McMicheal changed his clothes, took a bath, soaked in the tub, right? William Rodney Bryant went home, right? He chilled, relaxed, took his vehicle home. You guys, Gregory McMicheal's clothes, his truck, Brian, his truck, his clothes, those are all evidence. The officers allowed them to go home, right? They allowed them to go home and do whatever else they did on their free time. They never collected that evidence. They had to come back. They had to come back and actually get that. Hey, can you guys bring those trucks back? Can you please park them back where they were before so I can take proper pictures and like film this crime scene properly? They had to order everyone to come back to the scene. Could you imagine? They came back and got fingerprints off of William Rodney Bryant's truck. What if William Rodney Bryant in his mind was like, I'm a real criminal. I'm gonna clean my truck off because he touched my truck. I gotta make up the story. No, he was like, yeah, come by, my truck is here. Come get the prints. Why? Because I didn't do anything wrong. I filmed it. I filmed the whole thing. I'm not guilty of anything, right? Now that's how the opening statement pretty much went. Those are the things that she pointed out, right? She just pointed out the basic parts of what was said, their own statements, right? Greg McMicheal had no immediate knowledge of anything. He couldn't confirm if anything was stolen, if any homes were broken into. He didn't know anything, you guys, at all. He made an assumption. He just assumed that Ahmaud did something wrong. And I'm not making this up. This is what the evidence is saying. This is what he told the police that he doesn't know. He told the police to go ask and look around. Ask somebody, you're gonna find something. That's what he said. This is why I wanna get into this statement about perception, right? This is why when I'm talking to people, when I'm investigating crimes, I'm not talking to that person, right? I'm not talking to their gender. I'm not even talking to their skin color. I'm talking to this, right? I'm talking to this right here. Why is that? Because the mind is powerful, man. I'm telling you guys, you don't even realize how powerful your mind is. What happened with this situation, right? We're looking past race. Let's look past it for a second. We're talking about the power of the mind. For a person to be able to perceive something to be true when it's not. They live with a mindset where their perception has become reality. What are they perceiving? They're perceiving that Ahmaud Arbery is a criminal, right? Because only a black person running that fast within a white neighborhood has to be doing something wrong, right? I can't, in my mind, I can't think of any other plausible reason why a black person will be running through a neighborhood at that speed. It doesn't make sense, right? He wasn't jogging, he was hauling, right? He was hauling. That's what he said. That's what he said. The perception, man, the power of perception. You know, when I'm investigating people, that's what I'm looking at. I'm looking at their mind. I skip all this, man. All this has nothing to do with anything. You got to get to the mind, right? How does he view black people, right? And what's funny is you can ask a person who thinks like that and thinks like him and be like, hey, are you a racist? They'd be like, no, of course not. I got black friends, right? I'm not racist. You know, I'm not racist. How am I racist? My brother's half black. Nah, man, it's here. It's here where the problem is, right? It's here where the problem is. What does that mean? It means racial profiling is a thing, you guys. I know to some of my subscribers, they're like, duh. And to others, they're like, no. Yeah, it is. It's a thing. It's a thing, right? This is a thing. And here's a perfect example. I was talking to my supervisor one time and I gave him this example because this was during the whole George Floyd situation, and BLM was on a rise again, you know? And so I was really speaking towards white privilege. And I said, I'm not a fan of the word, right? I'm not a fan of white privilege, white preference maybe, right? We'll talk about it. We'll talk about it. We were like, what? I'm not a fan of white privilege, but I do believe in white preference, okay? So me and him were having a conversation. He just was like, I don't understand. Great guy. He's a white guy. He's an amazing guy. We're having a great conversation, right? And I said, okay, well, here's what people have a problem with, right? If I'm sitting in my car and I witness a white male, young male, carrying a TV across the street in the neighborhood. He's going from one side to another with a TV. He's holding the TV now. Picture this, right? A white male teenager. I'm in my car, on a patrol car. I'm looking at him. I'm like, interesting, right? Now, save that. Same scenario, sitting in my car. I see a black male carrying a TV, teenager, holding the TV, crossing the street. I look at him, I'm like, interesting, right? And I asked them, who's moving and who's committing burglary? What do? A white man carrying a TV, a black man carrying a TV? What's the first instinctive thought that comes into your mind, right? That's the problem, right? That's the thing. That's it. It's that first instinctive thought, right? But you're not racist. You're not racist. But there's a perception. He's a white kid. He's probably moving. He's probably at his friend's house and they were playing the game on that TV. They like that TV better. Your mind just can't put together a scenario where that white teenager is actually committing a crime, right? But when you see the black kid, you don't give that kid the benefit of the doubt, right? That's the problem. That's the problem. What do you call that? What do you call that? Subscribers, what do you call that? When black people aren't given the benefit of the doubt. Right? Anyways, you guys, that's it for today. Let me know your thoughts. All right, like, comment, subscribe, and share. And I hope you found this video informative. Anyways, with that being said, you guys, good night. God bless.